here. I've done it for several years.
I move to appoint Jana Hubby to it.
Well, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Consider and take appropriate action on repairs and treatment of the American Legion building.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, it's been discovered that the American Legion building has a termite infestation. As per our agreement with the American Legion, exterior repairs are responsibility of the city. The recommendation will be to have the building treated to eliminate the infestation and to repair that section of the building. Since this is an unbudgeted item, the recommendation will also be to take a portion of the oil gas lease monies that were just received and apply those funds for the repair as the lease covers that property. This would basically entail getting two sets of bids, one set of bids for actually quotes, one set of quotes for treatment, one set of quotes for repairs, and again to utilize those funds to pay for the treatment and repairs. Dennis Gieselman from the American Legion is here. If you have any further questions to him on this matter, since they discovered the infestation.
You can refer him to either the commander, Bob Roberts, or the building custodian is Daniel Viviala.
I move to authorize the city manager to give quotes on the treatment and repair of the American Legion building, award the job to the lowest quote, and utilize the funds for the oil and gas lease to pay for said treatment and repair. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. 12-20-10.7, consider and take appropriate action on amending the code of ordinances regarding charges for copies at City Hall.
I'm sorry, bear with that, I think you're missing this one.
Oh, consider and take appropriate action on entering into contracts with the Chamber of Commerce, EA Arnold Museum, and Archives, and Rail Park for the distribution of hotel occupancy taxes.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Councilmember Wilson conducted the negotiations with the interested parties. The agreement was to give the Chamber of Commerce 50%, $35 at the Army Museum, 10% to Flatonia Special Projects Inc., doing business at Rail Park Museum, and the city would retain 5% for our own promotional activities. We're often called to put ads in local visitor guides and whatnot. As a city, we've never had any dedicated funds to that. Discussion with Mr. Milton, it was thought that it would be, and possibly we can do things like a kiosk in the city for different tourist promotional things that are legal. You're using the OTA money for, and these were the agreements. Mr. Milton can give you any further information if you so desires. If not, we have presented to you the draft contracts for all three entities.
I move to accept the contracts with the Flatonia Chamber of Commerce, the EA Arnold Museum and Archives, and Flatonia Special Projects Inc. for use of the city's hotel occupancy tax revenues.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Consider and take appropriate action on amending the code of ordinances regarding charges for copies at City Hall.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, it was discovered that the current code of ordinances calls for copy fees that are not allowed by state law for certain open records requests. Therefore, it's recommended the ordinance be amended to establish our fees to be allowed by state law and to allow the city manager to establish other fees that might be necessary so the city can recover the cost of copies, especially now that we have a color copier that if somebody needs color copies, they're slightly more expensive for what we're charged for use of the copier, and that we will establish a fee schedule and have it posted in the code of ordinances in City Hall.
I move to adopt the ordinance amending the fee schedule in regards to copies made at City Hall.
Okay, let me just have a discussion here
Yes.
now. I mean, how, okay, you're gonna establish other fees as might be necessary. So that's gonna just come into your jurisdiction?
And it would be to, again, look at our lease with the copier for making color copies and how much it costs, how much it costs to make 11 by 17 copies, just anything that's not an open records request, just so the city can recover our copy our cost of copies.
And what
Okay,
we've
so
been doing, for as long as I can remember, is just charging what we can charge as open records request. That's the same thing, if somebody comes in and has a copy of the agenda and they want 20 copies of it, then we charge them the same price for something that they bring in as we would if they were to come in and make an open records request, which is 10 cents a page.
So how much would that cost? You know, just a round ball figure since you've been doing it. Like 10 cents a copy?
10 cents a 10 cents a copy.
For any open meeting request.
Okay.
That's by state law.
Yeah, that's by state law, and then what we've been doing is just charging the same price for if somebody brings, I don't know, something in of their own that they want to make copies of, we've been charging the same price.
Okay.
And again, we'd only amend things such as a large color copy or something, that if we have an agreement with the copy company, you know, with running the copier to make sure that we're at least recouping our, and then that's all we want to do. I'm not going to establish
No, I was
$75
just
fees for
curious
copies.
about that, okay.
And I'm certainly willing to bring this list back to the council if you like.
We have a motion and a second.
And I'm sorry, Mayor Mitchell, who seconded the motion?
I think I did.
Kathy, did you? Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Consider and take appropriate action on awarding bid for a new police department.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. The city council budgeted for a new police vehicle in this year's annual budget. The city has completed a request for bid with the following results. Caraway Ford, $19,382.75. LaGrange Ford, $24,090. Caldwell County Chevrolet, $21,694.
Yeah, there were two from
And Caldwell, and for $20,553. I believe those are two different year vehicles.
Chief, any input on this?
The last one we got was from Caraway, and we had any issues with them or anything.
Do I have a motion?
I move to award the bid for the new police department vehicle to Caraway Ford in the amount of $19,382.75.
Okay, and he's from Gonzales.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Consider and take appropriate action on contracting with Langford Community Management Services for the administration of the downtown trails park.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this contract has apparently slipped through the cracks. Langford Community Management Services, as you more commonly know, Judy Langford, assisted the town with applying for this grant, but we failed to ever sign a contract with her for the administration of the grant once it was awarded. And this is just a administrative thing to move forward, a formality, hopefully, that you do want Langford to continue to work with you on the administration of the grant.
The grant actually pays the money.
It's
back.
part of the grant.
So it's not money out of the city pocket.
A piece of our local match will be in there, but it's certainly not 100% of it.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the contract with Langford Community Management Services for the administration of the downtown trails grant.
All in favor?
Oh, I want to discuss. Okay, so you said that some of our money from the town will have to be spent. How much?
We
To
have,
match it?
we
We've got to
have,
get a good number here.
we have a local match on that.
Okay, what is the local match?
Which it was,
We actually in-kind services.
at the downtown trails.
And then the value of the property.
It is part of the 40.
To be allowed in the budget.
Yes, it's, streets, parks. The total grant match for the two grants was $40,000 in cash. We were all doing some in-kind, so it'll be a piece a small piece of that $40,000.
Okay, so
Really,
there's,
how much cash we're gonna have to spend really
yeah,
depends on how
that's what I
much
was
in-
kinda curious, I mean, if
It
we're
really
building,
depends on how much in-kind services we provide for both, from both those volunteers and our staff.
okay, so if we go out there and build a gazebo like was built last weekend, then we don't have to worry
Then,
about.
then we can we can take that off of our local match, so it may be no cash money. But we did budget up to $40,000 of cash money, just in case if we didn't have enough volunteer
We
work.
actually got like, what, $22,000 in county in-kind services?
825.
22.5, so we got plenty of in-kind services that
Right.
will actually defray the cash.
And the,
Right.
Well, truthfully, it'd kind of be nice, I mean, I know I've been very much out of pocket, but it would kind of be nice to know, you know, when these things are gonna be taking place and invite everybody, invite the whole city.
we have committed for this grant, in-kind services and/or cash for a minimum of $21,320.
John, for that,
Of that $40,000 that we budgeted. That, but then again, in-kind services and cash for a minimum of $21,000. So if we can get it all for in-kind services, it's no cash out of pocket.
and
Right.
that's the intent.
And do we, okay, so we have this all mapped out, we have it all planned out, we know what dates these are all taking place and all of that kind of thing.
A lot of this downtown trail grant, council member, will be, again, the county has committed in-kind services to actually prepare the base. A lot of it will be done by our staff, by spreading base and whatnot. The volunteer work on this trail will most likely be, when we get further down the line, when we'll be placing benches and whatnot, that can be done with volunteer labor.
And you also got the design of the work too, which was done by
And the
Ken
design of the work has all been done through volunteers, through our intern.
Okay, and so we're not spending so much money that we have to get engineers to come in here and pay engineers above and below.
Yeah.
Okay, and how are we gonna clean up that area up under that water tower? That's not an easy deal.
Well, that is not part of this grant.
Okay, so we're just talking about how much of this?
This is all the way to 95.
From here to 95.
Okay, and so we're gonna, we have a grant for what, $40,000
Now,
and
this grant is for $250,000.
for $250,000
And our,
from here to there.
for a trail that's going to be anywhere from 6 to 10 feet wide for 3,948 or thereabouts linear feet,
First grant.
fresh ground.
Okay, and what about across the street?
Across the street has been, is not, is-
Nothing to do with
that
that.
has
Where
been
does that
done
come
out of
from?
out of the parks budget that the Parks Committee has spent.
And
Out of their-
volunteer work.
Out of the, and a lot of volunteer work.
What budget and volunteer work? And was that approved at the council meeting?
Yes, when we brought that, the Parks Committee brought the recommendation for that sidewalk.
Okay, that was part of it?
That was, and but not part of this grant.
No, I'm
That was
talking
part- that
about
was
when the
other
sidewalk grant came in, that included that
No.
area.
Sidewalk wasn't a grant.
Okay, starting again, then explain it to me very simply. Okay, when was that approved up there?
Central Park has been developed by the Parks Commission using the budget the council has approved for the parks budgets.
Okay, so when we said we're gonna improve the Central Park, that meant that we were also, that they could, had the jurisdiction to go and improve that across the street there. Is that what I'm understanding?
That's what the
Yes.
Parks Committee does. Yes.
I mean, I like it, but, you know, people are asking questions about it. Okay.
Well, anybody has any questions, you can always send them to me, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Or
I
to-
know
Or you can call me, or you can call me and I'll answer the question.
I know you will.
That's a motion to approve.
You have a motion and second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.